Good. The clicker. The essential piece of technology. Good morning. Marc Hinder from Konica Minolta Europe. I'm responsible for our inkjet business, and I'm really, really grateful to, first of all, be here in Greece, in a lovely place, in the sunshine, not the cold, wet, horrible UK, which tends to drag us all down a little bit. And thank you to Vasilis and GraphCom for allowing us the opportunity to present. So, well, we're just waiting for that to come up. Okay. That's all right. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay. So let's start a little bit, and let's look at this. The reason why I hope you're all here is because that you know that the print industry is changing, and unfortunately the outside economics and everything that's going on is affecting our industry. And yes, it's true that the road ahead is going to cause us a few maybe sleepless nights. So the reality is that the marketplace is changing. We know that, we can see it, and we're pretty focused on understanding what's going on. So what we're seeing more of is the job of one. Ordering more often, shorter run lengths, but customers want their job next day. And unfortunately, companies like Amazon are creating this effect. So these big tech giants that are out there are actually affecting our industry. So how do we go ahead and how do we compete in a world which is changing? So the reality is, industry changes, and it comes on the back of ideas. And we only have to look now at fashion and see how trends in fashion actually create new business ideas. And that is what our job is to do now, in the print industry. We have to become more innovative. It's great listening to the gentleman, I have my headset on, and listening to the innovation that's taking place, augmented reality, everything that's taking. So if we look at fashion in the 1960s, this is what people were wearing. I asked yesterday if anybody was still wearing these sorts of clothes, and the lady put her hand up and said, yes, I still wear this. So I'm not going to take the same statement twice. The second thing is, if we then look to the 1970s, fashion changed quite dramatically. My mum put me in a pair of flares when I was 4 or 5 years old, and now I look at it and think, my God, would I ever be seen dead wearing a pair of flares? But fast forward to 2018, and this is what's happening now. But the shopping experience that's taking place and how people are acquiring their products has changed dramatically. Again, all because of online. The high street in the UK is changing every week. We're seeing companies closing down stores, moving products more to be online. And who would have thought that in 2018 you can buy a pair of ripped jeans for like 40, 50 euros. But that's change, that's innovation. There's somebody looking at it and thinking, how can I change my products, make them more appealing, put the product online, and then create new wealth. So, the reality is that we've got to evolve. And to evolve, we realistically have to look at it in some very simple steps. We've got to come up with ideas. We then got to create, we've got to validate those ideas and develop. So let's just take something simple. The humble business card. As printers, I'm sure all of you at some stage, and probably still do, print business cards. It's becoming a commodity product. The online printers like Vistaprint and Simpress and all those guys are creating these products and turning it into a commodity. So to change, we've got to highlight and create something different. So guess what? We add foiling and varnish. It helps to create change. It helps to make the business card a little bit more appealing. But there's one step that's always still missing. And it's this step. And it's vital. So what we've got to do is we've got to look at our products and we've got to take the fashion industry and the way that they adapted in the 1970s with a company called the Boston Consultancy Group who said to all retail businesses and any company, study your products. Find out which ones are making the money, the cash cows. And then there's one here called the dog of a product, or sometimes known as the problem child. This is the product that we print. We print masses of them. We're not sure why we print them. We fill our offset presses up with them and we send them out week after week after week. And our margins go down and down and down. But guess what? Our presses are still busy, but our margins are going down and down. And I think what we've got to do as an industry now is start to stop, reflect, and understand exactly why we print, what we print, and can we make money from it. And it's all about innovation. And then the next bit is to develop. So the next thing really could be plastic cards. Now, the reason I say this is in Greece you have a very, very strong tourism hotel industry. And as I travel around a lot of places in Europe, I pick up different hotel room keys. Here's the room key that I've got for the hotel I'm staying in at the moment. But then if you look at the plastic card market, and you look at all of the different things from hotel loyalty change, gift cards, everything else, it's a massive opportunity. So, to show you how big this opportunity is, look at this. This comes from ICMA, the International Card Manufacturing Association, which we're a member of. And I've just taken one little element from all of the plastic cards that get produced. And this doesn't show our hotel room keys up there, by the way. Gift cards is the 4th largest personalisation and fulfilment unit volume. It's worth $60 million just in Europe alone, and is growing at a growth rate of 5%. Why is that growing? Because of innovation. We can put RFID tags, near-field communication beacons, into plastic cards, so that as you walk along, these cards can actually start to communicate. And they can start to track and pull up the information. What you can also do is you can use a plastic card as a piece of advertising. So instead of the hotel now just putting the hotel name and address on it, the hotel can now start to advertise and sell that advertising to anybody who wants to take that as a medium. Guess what? No longer is the plastic card now a cost to the hotel, they're actually making money from it. So, we really think that innovation comes in many different ways, and one of those ways is through inkjet. And inkjet is opening up huge amounts of new business opportunities for all of you, because with this, we can print on this with our UV inkjet technology. So let's take a quick look. So, where we've come from is we as an industry, and as a company we're focused. We've come from the office area, we've moved into in-house printing, we've moved into graphic arts, commercial printing, and now we're into industrial printing. So this is creating a lot more business opportunities for us, but we don't lose sight of one thing. Focus on the product, focus on the customer, understand the customer's needs, and then develop. And we've got a history of doing this. We've been in inkjet for many, many years, through various different companies that have merged together, from Konica and Minolta when they merged, And we've been manufacturing inkjet head technology now for a long, long time. It's actually in the MGI product. So we use Konica Minolta inkjet heads in the MGI. And now, with the Acurio Jet KM1 coming out, we're using a new generation of inkjet heads. So let's have a little look at what we can do. And what the opportunity looks like. So, if you look at it from a business perspective, the majority of us are probably sitting within the graphic communication area. And that area is probably not only worth a huge amount of money, $700 billion, but it's the one that's coming under the most pressure, because as people with advertising budgets look to do more with those budgets and actually try and assess how they can get a mixture with digital advertising, etc., it's driving more price pressures. So we're looking to develop new market opportunities for you into packaging, worth $400 billion. Decorative, which is the embellishment area, at $477 billion. So our services and our products are developing to address those markets. And here's just one of them.
Konica Minolta.
So, in 2016 I had the pleasure at Drupa of launching this product. Since then we've now installed multiple machines across over Europe, across into Asia, into North America, and the take-up of this product is outstanding. But what's more outstanding is what our customers are doing with these products. Because with UV inkjet it allows you to test, to develop and be more innovative. So combining Konica Minolta's heritage and history in inkjet head development with a brand new ink which allows us to print onto any standard type of offset material, plus also moving into foils and plastics and everything else, it's expanding the business opportunities for our customers. If we then look at it, what does this really mean? Our people are focused on innovation and R&D. And we looked at the market that was out there and said, well, there's one big problem when it comes to ink. You've got to control that ink, and so whatever you print, you've got to make sure that it's consistent. You can print onto stocks which sometimes can cause difficulties, and you've got to make sure that you can control that dot in a way that you don't end up with what's known here in water-based is difficult with this light, where you get bleeding of inks together. So, a little bit more here. This just shows you a little bit more in detail. So, on the left-hand side, you can see water-based inkjet. And on the right-hand side, you've got our UV ink. Now, with water-based inkjet, you'd either need to use a primer, or you need to use potentially what's known as an inkjet-approved papers. Now, these inkjet-approved papers are not cheap. So, what we've got here is the ability to use standard offset material and print onto that material with very, very high accuracy with stable colour. What it also allows us to do, because it's UV ink, is now to expand your applications into that plastic card market. So, but it doesn't stop there. Because if you're going to use an ink and you want to make sure you're highly productive, you need to make sure that the system is capable of printing flat sheets very, very fast, very quickly, moving them into finishing, so that you can be productive at the back end of the process. And that's the other benefit that we've got. So, what that gives us is a total ability not only to expand the applications, we can move on, and we've got samples here we can show you, we can print onto very heavy textured stock, the plastics, etc. And it gives you a lot more capability to expand and be more innovative with your approaches. So let's have a quick look at one of the customers that's using the Konica Minolta CuraJet KM1.
Our company is a very traditional company, founded in 1922, so we produced the first own books, and in the meantime, the last 20-30 years we produce also direct mailing and fold boxes, but the history is an offset printing company.
We get the data, sometimes we have to change something, make corrections or something like that. They have to put it on a sheet, have to put it on a plate, maybe there's a scratch on it, so you have to get a new plate, you have to wait.
The customer requirements is to produce all kind of quantities with a high quality. Also different kind of substrates we have to produce on. We can't produce with toner machines, so we have to do this with an inkjet.
We started to do some sample jobs on the different machines. We talked to HP, of course. We talked to Fuji. We felt very well with the Konica people, so we had the decision to buy the KM1.
When we designed the CuraJet KM1, not only did we have the offset quality in mind, but we also needed to make sure that we had substrate handling. You can go from lightweight papers to heavyweight stocks. You can go from textures to canvas to plastics, labels. You have a multitude of opportunities with this device.
Often we have some jobs that has to be done in 2 or 3 days. So with the KM1 we have new flexibility.
Maybe we can get a job in the morning and in the evening bring the customer the product.
We are really satisfied about the machine and the quality first, but also the quantity they produce.
We have some big jobs from our customers, and now we can do the small jobs.
If it's not 100,000 sheets, it's 2-3,000, it's okay, it's no problem.
We have the chance to get these jobs too, because of the quality and the flexibility of the machine. When we have some personalized letters, we have now the possibilities on the KM1 to do it in one step. The front side, the back side, and the personalization is one step on the KM1. So it's a big function for us.
We work with the customer pre-sales, through implementation, and then post-sales. Our training department identifies the needs of the operators, which means that when the machine arrives, the customer can see an instant return within a shorter period of time.
We got 2 weeks on a training, it was great, and I think I'm really comfortable with the machine.
The KM1 can be maintained by the operator. You can change the parts like the heads and do all the cleaning yourself. That avoids the need to call out an engineer.
Whenever we got a problem, we have several numbers we can call and they all help us. Either they help us on the telephone or the next day they're here, so they can show us what we must do or what the problem is.
The best part of a relationship with a customer is when the customer rings you up, not to complain that the machine is broken or anything like that, but they're ringing you up to say thank you. And they're ringing you up to ask you down for a coffee and a chat so that they can talk to you about the exciting things that they're doing with our technology.
I just build up my own business cards on plastic, and so the first topic when I talk to a customer is to talk about my new business card.
With the KM1 we can try different things and yeah, it's great.
We are now looking for the next steps with new possibilities.
Giving shape to ideas. Konica Minolta.
So that's Remstrup. Just before Christmas, Alex rang me up and said to me, Mark, we've just won the Sony account because of your machine. I said, well, what does that really mean to you? He said, well, the first job I've got is to print 50,000 plastic loyalty cards for Sony PlayStation. that's going onto the shelf tickets at the stores. And he said, and by the way, they rang me on Monday, I had to deliver the first batch by Thursday. We printed it, we distributed it, and now they're asking me to print another 100,000. That's the opportunities that we can create with this type of technology. And that's the difference between the other printing technologies that are out there and what UV can actually develop for you. And the high quality and consistency and the high colour gamut allows us to hit those brand colours without any problems at all. And now that Sony account is going on to develop into different ways for Alex and his team to create a lot more opportunities for them. So I'm around all day. If you need to come and find me and have a chat, be happy to. But thanks very much for inviting me